So today's episode, I'm talking about when do you give up on a dream? I did a live on Facebook in my group, Music and Life Mindset with Nick Phelps. A lot of people were encouraged by what I had to say, share my thoughts. I just said thoughts. Share my thoughts, share my heart. So I'm going to be streaming that. Hope you enjoy. Hope you are encouraged. Please comment. If you get anything out of it, let me know your thoughts. Enjoy. What up, family? It's been a while since I went live. So I figured I'd go live because I got some thoughts I want to share. I was going through my Mr. Phelps music page on Facebook, just scrolling through. I was going down memory lane, and I just remember running into all these roadblocks and all these doors just closed. It felt like I was turning my wheels and nothing was happening. No matter what I did, like nothing was literally happening. And so as I'm scrolling through Facebook, I just got this question in my head, like, when do you give up on a dream? When? Like, when do you give up on a dream? And I know it's a cliche answer, but the answer is never. Because you never know what the dream is going to look like when it finally happens. For instance, I put out my first album called Vicious Cycle, 2019? Yes, 2019. And my whole vision for this album was to go into different facilities and kind of speak to the youth, share my thoughts about mental health, share my thoughts with adults about mental health, and go in and help as many people as I can. I put up the album. Nothing happened. It was crazy. Like, I put up the album, it didn't get the traction that I really wanted. And I thought like this album was going to be huge because I'm telling a whole story through an album. I haven't seen this done. All the dots connect. And then I found out about sync, and I thought like, oh, some of these songs on this album could get synced. None of those songs got synced on that album. Nothing happened with the album the way I thought it was. But I will say that my dream was to go and talk to teens through this album. But what ended up happening was I got my bachelor's and I got my chaplain certification on top of my bachelor's, and ended up becoming a chaplain while I'm doing all this music stuff. And the place that I went to work for in Washington State heard this album, and they said this album is perfect for the role that we would like to have you in this church. And I was like, okay. I end up going to this church. I end up creating a teen program for mental health. I end up working with some awesome leaders, and we create this program called VIP. It stands for Value, Identity, and Purpose. The program is still running. And we created this safe space for teens just to come, share their thoughts. If they believe in God or not, didn't matter. They just came and felt completely comfortable being themselves. And my dream was to do that through the album, going on tour and stuff, doing that. And, but it didn't happen that way. It happened a completely different way. But the dope thing is that the dream still happened, where I was able to talk to teens and go through mental health stuff and like that. And so now fast forward on this whole sync and music journey. When do you stop? The answer is you don't stop. You don't. You just keep adjusting and you keep going with the flow and moving. One of my favorite scriptures is man has a plan in his heart. I always say this, but God orders his steps. And some people don't believe in God. You may believe in the universe. Awesome. No judgment here. I love you the same way, just like you love me. I think the scripture still stands though, right? Like you can see how as you have a plan in your heart, you see different ways like, whoa, this is connecting, that's connecting, this is connecting. And you just keep following that and you keep going. And then you come to a place where you look back and you're like, wow, if I would have stopped then, I would have never reached this point. So we're always on this brink of, there's always this logical reason. Life is always going to get in the way. It does not matter. You'll never have all the tools you need. Even when you buy a new plugin or you have a new setup, you're always going to be like, man, I need something else. I need something else. So when do you also stop that and say, you know what, I have everything I need to make this happen, or at least to get to the next step? I think that's what a lot of us suffer with, and by a lot of us, I mean me. You always think you need that new fancy plug-in. When you don't, you just got to keep on moving, because you could do a lot with less. And every time you keep getting that new thing, it's just like a vicious cycle. I don't know why I'm going on this tangent now. We're just switching words. See, I'm just going with it. It becomes a vicious cycle where you're like, okay, now I need this, now I need this. But we should really stop and say, okay, what can I make happen right now with the tools that I have? And be present in this moment. I know we love to focus on the whole big next step. Of course, that keeps us motivated, but sometimes we can get so discouraged when we stay, I guess you could say, stay time traveling, trying to be in that next step rather than being in the step we're in, taking all we can in this step that we're in as we get to the next step. I was watching Netflix, and I was watching the Kobe Bryant with the USA Olympic team. I forgot the Redeem team. It was so dope, and I love that how they kept losing the Olympics, and then they brought Kobe Bryant in, and finally they had the Redeem team and they won. But they were almost going to lose, and Kobe Bryant said, just stay in this quarter. Like, don't worry about the next quarter. Just stay in each quarter. He's like, this team is not going away. Just stay in this quarter. And that really resonated with me. Because everything that you're doing today is going to affect tomorrow. But let's break that down even smaller, because sometimes we think that we have to do 50,000 things today to affect, the future, when in reality, all you have to do is that one thing. One thing. Give yourself some grace. Do that one thing. And then tomorrow is another day. And then you do that other one thing. And if you want to add more things to that, cool. But I don't know. I just felt like I just wanted to share, we all have dreams in our hearts. And as you keep going for that dream, it's easy to get discouraged because you kind of don't see things happening. You're like, when is it my time? But as I look back on my life, and I look back, like I said, I was looking at the Mr. Phelps music page, I remember all these emotions going through my head of like, man, I can't believe that this is not working out the way I planned. Like, this album is not getting the traction I wanted. It seems like every door just continues to keep shutting. I mean, every door, y'all. We were going through a lot. Facebook we only share so much on Facebook. We were going through a lot. Like, man. But I was just, I just couldn't stop, because the dream was in me, and I just kept course correcting. And now to be on the other side of that, looking at that season, I'm so grateful for it. To be on the other side of that, I learned so much from that season that translated into songs that's gotten place. And, we want to avoid going through the trash moments. We want to avoid it. But in order to be the person who you are going to be to handle when that dream does come to fruition, however that looks, you don't know how it's going to look. I never thought I would have a course either. My gosh, even that part. I'm able to handle everything that has, come to light now. I'm able to handle it because I had to go through those moments and be broken in order to help others who are broken and encourage them, and to really look them in the eyes and to honestly say it with true conviction. You're going to get through this. You're going to make it on the other side. Trust me. Stick with it. I can say that with conviction because, I lived through a lot, and I just kept going. And you take breaks as needed, and like you say, course correct as needed, but you just keep going. That is the big part. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. When the dream does happen, it may be way bigger. It may be completely off the railing of what you were expecting. But let me tell you, you're still gonna love it. And all the dots do connect. They all connect. And so to be on this side where, you know, some amazing things are happening, it's incredible. And I just love, that's why I created this group, call it Music and Life, right? Because life plays a role in the music. Music plays a role in our life. So that's why I created this group, because it's just not about the music. It's about, you got to live life too while you're doing the music. You have to keep on living. Music is a part of us. Music is a part of us. There's so much more to us. That's why we make all kinds of different songs. You know, it's so hard to pick a lane because we have many lanes within our life. And so you get to translate that into your music, and you get to stay true to you, and, you know, stop comparing yourself. Just keep doing what you believe in. Stay true to the mission that is in your heart, and keep running with it, and it will translate, and people will see your worth. And I'll just leave this. I'll leave this message like this. Stop caring what people think. Really, I mean that. Like, you know, we're so precious about our music. Not everybody's gonna like your music, but do you like it? Do you like your own creation? If you do, that's all that matters. And that will translate into other people's lives. But it starts with you. So believe in yourself. Know you will get on the other side of your dream eventually. But as you're waiting for eventually, celebrate all the little moments, y'all. Celebrate all those moments. And some of you may be going through a super duper rough patch. Trust me. I know sometimes life can suck. And through that super duper rough patch that you are going through, you know, I say you don't have to rush to, you know, be where everybody else is. Take your time. Take your time. This is life, y'all. This is life. This is not about trying to fast forward. I know some seasons we do want to fast forward through, but this is life. And sometimes it's going to take a while. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. That is all I got, y'all.
I'm real, come on. Like they say about me. Yeah, they call me crazy for chasing my dreams. Didn't ask for your opinions. Think you know my business. Worry about you and I'ma worry about me. Cause I'ma do me. Cause I'ma do me. Cause I'ma do me. They told me that.
This shit stank. This shit stank.
It's our chicken.
F those chickens, girl. F those chickens. It stank. Some stank ass chicken.
I respect your opinions, but why you think you know my business? Make moves gracefully, Christ moves faithfully. So if you think I'm crazy, then I simply ask you pray for me.